ever turned on the news ever, you'll know we're having somewhat of a
housing crisis.
Housing affordability crisis.
Runaway housing market.
Has a generation been shut out of the great Australian dream?
If you want to get into the market, you could consider killing your parents.
Oi!
But another option is buying off the plan, which means signing a contract to buy a property before it's been built. Now, like murder, this option can be risky, so it's important to know exactly what you're getting into before you commit.
Or you can just live with your parents for the rest of your life like you.
So say you're at the real estate agency considering buying something off the plan.
We're thinking of buying off the plan.
Great.
That means committing to buying something you can't even see yet.
You can look at the design.
You might be able to visit a display home, but for some people, all you get to see are pictures.
I'm just not sure we should be buying something we can't, actually see.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Material. Can you see love? Can you see friendship?
I guess not.
Great. I'll just need $5,000 right now then.
What for?
A holding deposit.
Freeze! Read the line or your shirt gets it.
A holding deposit sounds like the agent will hold the property for you.
Oh, you're hopeless. Give me that. But in reality, it's an expression of interest payment.
Shh.
In fact, an agent can take as many holding deposits for a property as they like, and there can be more than one agent per property.
What?
Now, if you are going to hand over a holding deposit, the agent must give you a receipt and confirm in writing that
There's no obligation to buy it, and we'll refund your money if you change your mind.
and
And there's no obligation for us to sell it to you. Have a free pen.
Maybe we'll think about it.
Good idea. I'm terrible at my job.
So, before you hand over your $5 or so grand to not secure a theoretical property, let's weigh up the pros and cons. First, some pros.
Doesn't look like there are a lot of pros.
Do you like free money? Buying off the plan means you're buying a new home, which means you could be eligible for a first homeowners grant and stamp duty concessions.
But there are price caps, and the rules are different in every state. And they change all the time. So visit firsthome.gov.au for the latest.
Plus, you know what it's going to cost.
That's true. At least you don't have to go to an auction where you have no idea what's going to happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Can I hear a bid of 1.4 million?
1.5, 1.6.
Is that $1.7 million for the handsome couple for this beautiful garage? Run!
Did I mention it comes with all these fancy new appliances?
Which can mean better energy efficiency and lower maintenance costs. Mom!
And buying off the plan means you get a guarantee, which covers you for years if there are any faults.
Yes, but this doesn't cover you if your builder dies, disappears, or goes bankrupt, which is why you should always make sure your developer has home warranty insurance. What is going on?
I knocked over a bonsai tree.
Buy now, pay later. Well, pay a little bit now, but most of it later when it's worth more than you got it for.
If the value of your property goes up between the time you buy it and the time it's finished, you could find yourself in a good position.
Great, we'll take it.
But that's a big if.
Hang on, why didn't you tell us that before we signed the contract?
Shut up, cautionary tale.
What did she call us?
Genuine risk when you're buying a property off the plan is that the value goes down between the time you buy it and the time it's built. And because banks will generally only lend you the value of the property, you could find yourself short. In fact, one survey found that half of 1,700 completed apartments were worth less than the buyer paid when they signed their contract. And depending on where you live, like say Melbourne, that could be a real risk. There are many reasons this can happen, and it isn't always simply a downturn in the market. It could be that the finished product is not what the buyer signed up for. One Sydney investor bought an apartment off the plan that promised 180-degree water views, but when it was finished, they found there was a wall that obstructed their view completely.
There's your water views.
Now, they didn't get away with that, but there are valid clauses a developer can put in your contract that allow them to make changes. For instance, they might be able to alter the finishes so long as they don't materially prejudice the buyer. But that can be a matter of opinion.
The dishwasher. I thought we were getting a melee.
It is. Say hi, Millet.
Hello. There may also be a clause in the contract that allows the developer to make minor changes, like a 5% increase or decrease to the balcony area. And let's face it, we can probably guess which way that's going to go.
Guys, good news. We varied your veranda.
Ooh, is it bigger?
No, obviously it's smaller.
I thought you said this was good news.
It is! For me!
Far out, this sucks, man.
And worse still, there's always a chance the developer won't complete the project at all.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Thanks. Been working on my charcoals. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to finish your apartment. Bye-bye!
If that happens, you should get your deposit back. But you can't live in a deposit.
We can try.
Also, you may not know what your strata fees are, which can be the difference of thousands of dollars a year. Higher! And it can take a very long time for the project to be completed, sometimes up to 2 or 3 years. Higher!
When we complete this bit of the segment, pushing on the swing demeans the both of us.
No. You may have heard of a sunset clause, which as well as being Santa's naughty sister,
Ho, ho, ho!
No!
also means you'll get your money back if the building isn't finished on time. However, the developer does have some flexibility with that completion date, so have a backup plan for where you'll live. And if you are going to buy off the plan, even though it's risky,
You mean risque?
here are some things you should do. First, get yourself an experienced property lawyer or licensed conveyancer and ask them a million questions like,
can we make changes to the finishes in the bathroom and kitchen?
What happens if the building is finished earlier or later than expected?
Is there a cooling off period?
Is our deposit secure even if the building does go ahead?
Can we visit the site during construction?
you can find more good questions at fairtrading.newsouthwales.gov.au.
The answer is... I don't know.
Why don't you know this stuff?
This contract is written on a beer coaster.
Research your developer and check they've completed this type of project before. Experience counts. Haircut? You'll be Evie's first customer.
Please, no!
Make sure the development application has actually been approved. In Sydney, for example, some developers have been selling property without approval.
I'm making a house.
Which, by the way, they can do if it's in the contract.
This is a terrible house.
If the approval gets denied, you should get your deposit back. Make sure your contract says that your deposit goes into a trust account where it's not accessible to the developer until settlement. Some developers will try to put it in a personal account, and that's a massive red flag. Push for a contract that says you get any interest accrued on the deposit while it's sitting in the developer's coffers, whether the building gets made or not. Lots of factors, including bad weather, can delay the building of your development.
Are you gonna build this house or what?
No.
That's why you need a sunset clause.
Help!
Help? I thought we were just a cautionary tale to you.
Could we just stay here and tell you a couple more things? Home really isn't safe right now.
Fine.
Okay, before you commit, make sure you get a detailed set of plans that clearly indicate what the final product will be.
Great, I'll just tell my past self that. Any future advice?
Know when your stamp duty will be due. It can be a long time before the building's completed, and there can be hefty fines if you don't pay on time.
Now I'm making a house.
And make sure you pre-inspect the building for defects before you settle.
This is the best house.
No, it's just really not.
Get in the house.
Peanut butter is definitely a defect.
So, if you're considering buying something off the plan, know the risks, do your research, and maybe you can end up with something like this. Rather than this. Or this.
This is the best house. This is the best house.
Beautiful. Willow, you're attacking. You're so good at that.